Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Rile, and I'm gonna be back with another trade breakdown. Basically in today's video we're gonna be looking at the AUD USD. It's not necessarily a trade breakdown as such. It's basically analysis, entry, as well as exit. Okay, so let's just get straight to the video. So in today's video we're looking at the AUD USD. I'm currently on the 15-minute time frame. So what I'm currently looking for is a short trade on this pair. Let me try zooming out a bit. We're on the 15-minute time frame, and where I'm basically looking for a short is around this area that I've highlighted in blue. Price has been constantly reacting around the area. As you can see, we kind of had a reaction. Let me just try putting a black line somewhere around there. We had like a bit of a reaction. We had a reaction around the area, right? And then as well as here we had a reaction where price dropped straight to the downside, and we kind of had a reaction there. So this is a high probability area to take a trade on. Okay, and one thing I really like about this setup, okay, is this pattern right here. Let me try adjusting it a bit. Okay, can probably do something like that, right? So this for me is a pattern that signals me that most likely the market, might go short, right, from this point onwards, from this level or area. Okay, let me just delete this and this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm basically looking for a short position, and I'm currently waiting for a bearish candlestick, right? Some kind of like a bearish engulfing candlestick, or perhaps maybe this current candlestick might close as like a heavy rejection candlestick with a wick, something like this. You can call it a pin bar, or I don't know, a hangman, or whatever you guys call this, but I'm more so into like the visual aspect of this rather than the name. Okay, it might be something along these lines, or I might wait for this candle to close, and then the next candle might close engulfingly, or engulf this candle right here, and that will be a sell signal for me. And the way I look for my trades when it comes to a pair is I try to pay attention to like what happens before the market starts going bearish, if ever I'm looking for sell trade. And as you guys can see, there's some kind of like a triple top, right, or a double top, right? And you can also see that right here, a double top formed. Okay, and let me try zooming out a bit. A double top kind of formed, right? So obviously this will be a risk entry, as maybe price might not straight up just go straight to the downside. It might come down a bit for a breather, come back to retest the area and form the double top if ever it's going to be a high probability sell, and then start moving in the direction. And another reason why I'm entering here is that we just the London session just closed, right? We like 45 minutes after the close, right? So that's also a good signal for me. Let's look at other instances where the London session closed and we had like some kind of a move. You guys can see that right there, right? The London session closed, we started having a sell. Let me look for other instances. Okay, not necessarily there. The London session closed, we started having a sell. Let me look for other instances. The London session closes, we started having a sell. So that for me is kind of like more confluence. Okay, for me is to take the trade. So I will be keeping you guys updated if ever I do get like an entry signal. Okay, and if I do, I will be going short, right? And then we're going to talk about like the trade management, the risk management on this trade, and where I will be looking to exit the trade. So yeah, in a minute. So back at it, I entered the trade. Let me try removing this line. So as I said to you guys, I was waiting for some kind of like a heavy rejection candlestick that was going to be bearish, which I got, and that's when I entered the trade short, right? And as I said to you guys, I'm not necessarily expecting for price to just shoot. I will be expecting for price to perhaps come back a bit, form some kind of a double top, and then start moving to the downside. Okay, so let me try highlighting a couple of changes in my analysis. So at first we were looking at this level right here where I said price reacted, but price kept on going up, and there was a better deal right there, right where I highlighted. As you guys can see, there was a reaction, but moving far left, you guys can see that there was a reaction at around there, right? And there's been a reaction as here as well. Okay, so what that meant for me was that, you know, this is a high probability area, as this is a high probability area for short, like the trend line. So I'll just be waiting for price to kind of form a double top, and if it does that and keeps on rejecting, that means this will be a high probability trade. And where I'm looking to exit the trade, let me try doing this, is right here on this yellow line right here. I'm not really looking for a deep move, okay, just a bit, you know, just a bit to the downside. And this is where I had placed my stops. Let me just try highlighting that. This is where my stops are, and this is where my targets are. Okay, so if price keeps on let's assume it keeps moving to the downside after forming the double top, for every lower high that gets formed, I'm going to keep trailing my stops. And as soon as price breaks out of this trend line right here, right, I'm going to break even on this trade. Okay, and then with every lower high that gets formed, I'm going to keep on trailing stops up until price hits my targets. Okay, and another thing is that I'm not necessarily looking to hold this trade for like pretty long, probably a couple of candles in the Asian session. I'm going to be looking to exit, right? A scenario that's like this, a couple of candles in, let's assume price starts shooting and you exit around there. You don't necessarily hold throughout the whole Asian session, because, you know, there might possibly be a reversal, right? Just looking for like 1.5 half session trade, and then that will be good for me. And in terms of exits, I'm not just necessarily looking for price to hit like my target straight up, or obviously we'll be timing the exit the same way I timed the entry. As you guys know, that I entered this trade because the London session had just closed, right? It was like a couple of candles after the London close. Okay, so similar, a couple of candles in the Asian session, I'm going to be looking to exit. Whether price would have hit my stop, my targets or not, it might maybe be here, right? Because soon after that, there's possibly going to be like a very deep retracement right before price starts continuing. And what that will mean for me, it will mean that, you know, it might be another opportunity for me to get involved in the market. So I will be keeping you guys updated on this trade, you know, to see if ever we do get to hit targets, if ever maybe it chooses to reverse and hit stops, or the double top forms and price keeps on going to the downside. I will be keeping you guys updated on like further detail about the trade. So yeah, in a minute. Back at it, price started moving in our direction. Unfortunately, you know, I was not in front of the market to break even as soon as price broke this trend line right here. And what I'll be basically doing is that I'll be placing my stops right above this lower high right here. Let me just do that. Okay, so what I'll be waiting for right now is like a bit of a pullback, and then price, you know, to continue going to our target. But for us to exit, price doesn't necessarily need to get to our targets. Okay, a couple of candles in the Asian session, that's when I'll be looking to exit. Okay, so the double top that I was expecting didn't really come into fruition, but you know, this is still a great trade. Like, this is a dope trade, you know. So I will be waiting at least for that pullback before price starts continuing. I think that will be happening at the Asian Open, but price might just continue going to the downside and until it hits targets, and that will still be a great scenario. That'll actually be a great scenario. Okay, so and the reason why I'm basically looking for a pullback is because, you know, I'm looking to kind of trail my stops. Let me just delete these lines, they really get confusing. Okay, I'll leave that. Okay, so and let me also delete this because we don't really get the double top that we were expecting. Okay, so if ever I do get like a retracement, you know, before price comes and hits my targets, if ever I do get a retracement and price does continuing and breaks the low, then I'll be trailing my stops, right, and locking in some profit. Okay, and I will be looking to exit this trade, you know, a couple of candles in the Asian session. So see you guys on the other side. Get it? So price has just, you know, just went straight to the downside, and what I'll be doing right now is that I'll just be trailing my stops and then waiting for price to hit my targets, probably at that, you know, session close, right? So that's what I'll be looking for, you know, just price to hit my targets, and then from there we're gonna do a bit of like a trade review, you know, just review the trade. And yeah, so let's just, you know, chill out and wait for price to hit targets so we can get straight to the review. So yeah guys, we just hit targets, and this was pretty much a good trade. You know, it just went straight to the downside, you know, without making any huge retracements, and this was pretty much a good trade. You know, got a 1:5 risk reward on this trade, so it was pretty much a dope trade. You know, was able to close it within a single session. You know, it hit targets within a single session, so this was pretty much a dope trade. You know, let me try doing this for a bit. Okay, there we go. So looking back at this trade, it was pretty much a straightforward trade. You know, we were at, you know, a significant area where price normally reacts. As you guys can see, we had a reaction, and price, you know, just kept on reacting at around this area, and we were in, you know, a good time zone. Looking at the London close, a couple of candles after the London close, we had a very beautiful heavy rejection candlestick, right? And then soon after that, you know, price just, you know, went straight to the downside. You know, we had that morning star type of candlestick, you know, that huge rejection, and I really like that. And another thing, we had this pattern right here: first touch, second touch, third touch, you know, and price started moving to the downside. So pretty much, you know, this was a pretty nice trade, you know, straight to the point. And I just hope you guys liked this video, you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for, you know, more fire content. And I think this is it from me, Relay, and signing out.